When you're lost somewhere, the first step that you must take in order to be unlost is, hopefully you have a map, is to sit down and try to figure out where exactly on that map you are standing. And the same applies to real life. When you're feeling unsatisfied with the way that it goes, the first step, right, to take is to fully comprehend what exactly it is, what's the space, what's the inner state, and accept it. In this video, I want to talk about, like, first of all, accepting, learning to get to that point of acceptance, right? The realization and what comes of it. And also touch upon the toxic culture, I think, of like constant self-improvement and just constantly trying to be on your hero's journey. And my take on it, honestly. In addition to that, I also want to implement this new way that I want to try out of storytelling, which is basically using a song that I feel is relatable to the topic. Today, the song that I chose, sorry about the noise, my cat is just playing, is Everything by Lauryn Hill, the queen, the queen of life and of music and of my heart. Love her. Don't know much about her. That's the thing, I stand artists, but I'm just not invested in like learning more about them. Well, whatever. So let's start. First off, what is meant to be will be. I think a lot of times what we struggle with as human beings is getting to a point of understanding that things are the way that they are for no specific reason. I think if you're religious, you have this like idea that everything is the way that it is for a reason, or if you're not religious, you probably think that everything is the way that it is because of no reason. But I think at the end of the day, we can't know. While faith is an amazing thing, and if you believe into something, whatever that may be, it's amazing. At the end of the day, you don't know that. You can't know that. And when things are out of your control zone, which I think most of the everything is out of your control, which as sad as that is, right? You can only try and create, right, a affirming environment for something to exist, but at the end of the day, like, you can't control things. Things can happen or not happen regardless of your actions, which is crazy and a bit scary. But accepting that, to me, is freedom of mind, right? And then at the same time, accepting something instead of trying to constantly fight it and be like, well, why is it like this? Why is it like that? I think really helped me to start moving from being upset over things constantly to truly realizing them and trying to work them out. I think a lot of times things feel so severe and so big and so dilated that it's scary to accept them, because once you accept even the smallest part of it, it will start daunting on you. But I think what a lot of you are not realizing is that after winter must come spring, and nothing ever is permanent. And if anything, suppressing thoughts, feelings, and anything within yourself will, like, the more you try to restrict something, the more it will fight back. The moment you give it space that it needs, it doesn't necessarily grow. Your feelings are not like fish. It's not like the bigger tank that you put them in, the bigger they'll grow. That's not the reality of it, babes. If you give your feelings space, they will often change their clothes and become something else, which I love. And that brings me to a point that acceptance is oftentimes the solution. A lot of times just living with something without trying to push it away from you, and just, it's the step that you need to take in order to let go. And that's usually, sometimes that's all it takes, unless it's some sort of like deep trauma that you're trying to fight, right? If it's not minor things, but medium things, a lot of times just accepting something will be enough. Will be enough for you to like let go of it. The way it is the way it's supposed to be. Which is that determinism? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is. But no, it's not actually. I need to Google the definition of that word. Anyways, a lot of times we will feel bad because we don't feel like we deserve something when it's bad. Sometimes we don't feel like we deserve something when it's good, and we self-sabotage. And a lot of times we feel like something happened to us and we deserve something better. At the end of the day, you do deserve the best. But also, nobody deserves anything. Nobody is entitled to anything. And life sure as hell makes sure that everybody knows that shit can happen to anybody. And it can happen so surprisingly. And you just need to be prepared at all times. But obviously being prepared at all times is not something doable. So a lot of times you just live, love, and you just do the things that you need to be doing. But once again, like also putting that into your mind that things are the way that they're supposed to be, and that's okay, that's fine. You should be accepting of that and okay with that, and that helps move on for sure. You can't plan it. This world is so unpredictable. Tell 'em, girl. Freaking tell 'em, girl. Once again, the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your mental health is to just create the environment within which... Do you want to come up? Do you want to come up? Yes? Yes, you want to come up? He wants to come up. The best thing you usually can do is to just see what are the things and how you can do them in ways. I'm sorry. And what are the ways in which you can just do them consistently? Sometimes without any progress, right? What are the things in this lifetime that you can do without ever getting any kind of affirmative like verbal or resultable confirmation? And once you find those things, you need to stick to them, because let's be for real, you will get affirmative reaction to consistently doing something. But at the end of the day, if you could do that anyways without anybody being like good job, or without getting anything from it, imagine how inspired you'll be to do it when you do get that affirmation. So you can't plan things, because once again, planning, you can try, but you can't run. You can try, but at the end of the day, you're not in charge like that, love. You're not. And everything is everything, and it is what it is. What is meant to be will be. And a lot of times we can work really hard at something, but it still won't be enough, because it's not about being enough. It's about you never know what it's about. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And to be in the right time, at the right place, at the right time, in the right place, all you can do is just keep... that meme where a guy's like, when you found out about the fact that at some point molecules could randomly move in a way that will, align perfectly, and if you push in that millisecond into a wall, your hand will go through it. Just keep doing it, just keep pushing. And honestly, the more you push, the more you keep pushing, the better are the chances. I was put here to do something. It's hard to believe sometimes, but I'll keep on trying. And I think, stop this. I think that mindset really sticks with me, because we don't know what our purpose is. and we will not know what our purpose is. Sometimes we have effect on people and on the earth that we are not even aware of. And I think that's beautiful. So many times people have told me that something that I have said affected them in ways that were life-changing. And I didn't even know. Like, it makes me extremely happy, but that makes me also understand how many things are happening around me without my realization, right? So many things are constantly taking place and I don't even know about it. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that also makes me realize how much responsibility is put on me as a human being to be decent and to be moral. These are the quotes that I kind of wrote out. But let me just yap. And whoever stays. I struggle with accepting the way that things are. I always try to chase things that aren't real because I think for me, the Delulu land is crazy. Like, it's close to home. And a lot of times I'll try to see and validate the potential in others. And I'll try to see and validate the potential in certain pursuits just because I see a spark in there. Meanwhile, in reality, I probably shouldn't. At the end of the day, my inability to fully comprehend and accept things definitely comes from a place of wanting to use that experience of possibly believing in something, and then even though it's Delulu that's actually happening, to reaffirm certain insecurities that I have, such as, for example, like sometimes I'm scared that certain things about me that I want to change are not changeable. And so believing in miracles and like trying to chase them, sometimes I think is me trying to reaffirm my fears. I think realizing that, accepting that, is already the work. A lot of times we think that in order to solve something, we need to actively do things to solve them. But that's bullshit. Let me tell you why. Because at the end of the day, our brain, our conscious brain, is only that much of what's actually happening in our head. So many things are happening on subconscious level. A lot of times you know everything before you even realize it, and that's your intuition and that's your gut feeling. What we need to thrive for is being connected to ourselves, because here, because I think subconscious is here, which our heart, whatever you like to call it, right? And our brain is the conscious us. And connecting these two is only doable by letting ourselves feel through whatever it is that we need to feel through. Interesting concept, isn't it? And at the end of the day, the only way to feel through what you want to feel through is by sitting the fuck down whenever you feel bad and thinking about it and ranting about it to your friend, or to your voice note, or writing it out, or creating a piece of art that channels those emotions. And once you do that, trust, you will find your peace. Because sadness only stays, and all of the other emotions such as anger, etc., are the secondary after effects of sadness. And sadness only stays as long as you don't experience it. The minute you cry, you can cry for 2 hours. Okay, usually you cry for like 5 minutes, and after that it comes out. You let that energy out. Energy cannot disappear, it can only change form. And boiled water, like if water is almost boiling, it cannot escape the teapot, whatever, the kettle. It can only escape by reaching such an extreme that it will start coming out in a different form, right? So to transform something, you need to experience an extreme. But to do that, you need to really let that sink in. And that is my take. And I think truly seeing things for what they are and putting a stop to constantly trying to make things something that they're not and to gaslight yourself, you open the door for others gaslighting you, and you yourself build an untrustworthy relationship with yourself, because this and this are disconnected. And you know what happens then? You don't know what you feel, and that's scary, because that's when you make decisions that are not good for you, because you don't even know what good is. Peace out.